and you're watching us, we are grateful for this. Please keep it UBC and keep it the Score Extra and other programs at UBC. Be sure you will enjoy what we're going to give you. And today I'm joined on the set by two guys that are phenomenal in whatever they do. Yes, sport and everything else. Michael Senfuma Luwandaga is further away from my right, and inside, closer to me, is Peter Otai. I'll start with Michael Senfuma Luwandaga. It's been a while. Where have you been? What have you been at?
Yeah, I've always been around, trying to follow up on different sports disciplines, following up on the Paralympics. However, I haven't been around at UBC TV, but I've always been with my friends down at Magic FM and Star TV.
Magic FM, for which Mr. Peter Otai is the manager. And Peter Otai, it's been a while. You came here. You came through yesterday, but it's been a while before yesterday. Where have you been, Peter?
Yeah, this is my maiden appearance, by the way.
On the Score Extra.
Yeah. Can I say, when it comes to sports work-related issues, I've actually been up and about. But I'm actually very glad to be here for the maiden show.
I'm glad. Yeah. I'm glad you're here. Yeah. I'm glad, Michael. I'm glad, Peter, that you're here. And Ugandans must be waiting in anticipation for what you guys are going to offer. But let's start with this. We've got to agree as a team. Like yesterday, Peter, the masks, yes or no?
For people to hear us well, I think it's okay. I'll be glad to remove that. Yeah.
And also realistically for the girls out there to know that. They need to know how Peter looks like in real life without the mask. You know, it's been 2 years and a lot changed, surely.
Yeah.
2 years with the masks are too much time. But today, we've agreed as a team that we don't put on the masks and talk sport to Ugandans. We start in Rwanda, where the Afro basketball ended for Uganda. It still continues, of course. Other teams are still on, but Uganda's Afro basketball dream ended at the quarterfinals by Cape Verde, 79-71. That man, Walter Tavares, tormenting us, Peter. I've never seen a player torment Uganda the way that guy did. 23 points he scored, but importantly, he's 7'3" and weighs 120 kilograms.
True. It was a very hard one, because if you look at the way he disturbed Okello in that match, it was a very tight one, because Okello tried to put all the energy on him, but Tavares was actually not shaken. And for me, it's the height of Tavares that actually went on to kill us in that final game, because like I say, the energy, the power, Okello tried very much to go there, but it wasn't very much coming in. But all in all, I think we did lose that game to a few simple errors there. Yeah. Concentration is very key when it comes down to the game. If you did follow the game perfectly well, I think from a 10-point game until when we went to a 4-point game, we played very well, to the extent that we began giving Cape Verde a run for their money. The coach of Cape Verde was not relaxed, really, totally not relaxed when we brought the game to a 4-point game. Right, performed very well, and the rest of the players actually played very well. But later on, I think, to me, in the second half, concentration levels went away. We began giving away turnovers. There were so many in that game, and that to me actually costed this. But I'm very pleased, really, very pleased that I really love the performance of the boys. They gave everything to the court, gave everything to the game, and I have to say the boys deserve a lot when they come back home.
Michael Senfuma Luwandaga, your age enjoys basketball because of the flamboyancy around the fans and the players, the way they move around with the swag. Have you enjoyed your Afro basketball for Uganda especially, and the tournament as a whole?
Yes, I really enjoyed the whole tournament, because there is a game I watched between Tunisia and
South Sudan?
Yeah, South Sudan. It was a very great game, because I didn't think the South Sudanese would really give the Tunisians that really hard time, but it was a great game that I really watched. And the game between Uganda and South Sudan too was also a tight one, a tight contention there, 86-88. Uganda dropping out because of a 2-point lead there. I just think that the South Sudanese really managed to put up a stunning performance to edge Uganda. But looking at Uganda and Cape Verde in that quarterfinal, it was the very first time Uganda made it to the Afrobasket quarterfinals, and I have to give credit to all the boys and the coach in Galanapolis for the
and I think the federation as well.
Yeah, even the federation, because even when they were going, I remember seeing a sack of money being given to them. However, the sack of money had issues of a certain money lender whom we are not certain of. However, they managed to give us a great performance. Besides all the financial woes, they managed to put up a great game on the court.
Yeah, Peter, the squad for us, Do you think it was the right balance of the players that we actually expected us to go down there in Rwanda amidst all the challenges? We shall get the challenges later. Let's look at the merits that we got out of this tournament, because we've got big tournaments coming up for Uganda.
Yeah,
the World Cup qualifiers come through. We shall talk about them a little later.
Yeah.
But Peter, the boys down there, Dengao, Juma
Seiko,
Adam Seiko, Arthur Kaluma, brothers, siblings,
yes.
and of course the man Ish Wainwright.
I have to admit that the selection of the team for me was perfect.
Okay.
We cannot say that the boys that went to represent us in Rwanda were second fiddle or third fiddle. I believe that the coaching staff, which had Mande Chiruni, I actually will say this, Mande Chiruni understands these boys better, but also the tactics and tactical play that was brought in by the Greek man goes on to improve the way we play. And you have to see that what you saw on court is a reflection of what the best Uganda can actually provide in basketball. You know, if we can actually go down and beat Nigeria, if we fall to a South Sudan side by only 2, then we go down and play against one of the best teams in the competition, Cape Verde Island over there, and we fall by just a small margin. Trust me, I think I can't say more about the boys, but John Barnes and Temu, we have to put it on paper that these boys, amidst the crisis of COVID-19, have not been in active play. Sport has actually been off a very long time. The season of basketball actually came to an end
almost as it was starting.
As it was starting.
Yeah.
And you see,
this now starting and it concluded.
Exactly. Apart from the rights and the others who maybe got some small playing time. But if you go down and look at the that is the Enabus of this world and the rest, they did not have enough playing time we can actually boast about. But we could be able to get a team, take it for training, go for qualifiers, then go for the final edition of the games in Rwanda. And I'm very happy with the quarterfinal back. Yeah,
but we took it's 12 players that went to represent Uganda down there. Five of them from the Ugandan League. The 5 are Ben Komakech, Titus Luwal Odeke from Uganda Christian University. Then there was Tone Drileba, there was Jimmy Enabu, and James Okello. The other 7 lads are from across the divide. Robinson Opon from Canada, and many of them from
but at
from
least
the US.
You realize that the local league had starters.
5. Okello, Enabu, and Drileba got many minutes in there.
Exactly.
Except for Titus Luwal, all others, even Ben Komakech got a minute or 2 in that Afro basketball tournament, from which we need to build hard to ensure that we carry on forward. You're a young man of us 3 here. Which lessons are the young lads, the fired buddies of this world, going to learn from seeing their countrymen, their compatriots competing at this quarterfinal level of the world, Africa's biggest basketball tournament?
Yes, first of all, being a young lad, I'll also first of all applaud another young lad that was down there in Rwanda, that is Arthur Kaluma, who managed to put up a stunning performance against Nigeria. He's such a big guy on basketball from the America. Talked about him. You know, at times they don't talk about the lad, the name of the lad. They may not know who that is, but that 15 of Uganda was talked about many times as one of those who's very good.
He was outstanding at Cape Verde Island. I think he was the top shooter here. More points.
Even in the Nigeria fixture, when they were taking on Nigeria to head into the quarterfinal, he put up a stunning performance in the very first quarter. He managed to get us a couple of points there. So he managed to represent the young lads of Uganda very well there. But what I have to let other Ugandan boys out there, what I have to let them know is, when you get to the court and you're given a chance to play for the national team, you have to put up your you have to play your heart out. You have to give us your A game. That is the only way you can always get those call-ups. I'm really glad that Mande Chiruni thought about the Jimmy Enabus of this world. And however, we haven't seen more of Jimmy Enabu at the Afrobasket, because I think he was covered up by the professionals whenever they were selecting those starting 5 players. But I just think the mere fact that he was given that opportunity will also help him. He will use it as a stepping stone to make sure he leaves the City Oilers and go play probably in America, just like the Wainwrights and the Kalumas of this world.
Okay, Peter, we need to go. It's about the good, the bad, and the ugly. We are still at the good. This crop of players has got to move on. World Cup qualifier has come up for them. They're in Group A. That has Uganda, Nigeria, Cape Verde, and Mali. I think yesterday I told you South Sudan. It must be Mali in that group of ours. Now, it's not long. It's November when they start. How do the coaches how does Uganda enable these lads carry on with this current form to propel Uganda to World Cup that will be in 2023 in 3 nations, Indonesia, Philippines and Japan?
Well, John Barnes Sentamo, it's very clear that these boys are not going to take a break. This is September, the games get underway in November.
Yeah.
So I think they have about 2 months to prepare. So if you're a very good coach, the only thing you need to do is when the boys come back on the 6th, give them maybe about a few days to go home, a week to actually go home. Then we go back for training to get ready for the actual, that is World Cup qualifiers. Trust me, World Cup is different from the African Cup of Nations when it comes to basketball. We are talking about the epitome of basketball, the real high level of basketball where you play against the best of the countries. Here we are playing as African countries, the best African countries. But now we are going to play against the likes of if we qualify for the World Cup.
And it's 5 teams from Africa that will go to that tournament in 2023. Hopefully Uganda will be a part of them, considering what we've gotten at this Afro basketball. A few things done right and you're certain that we are good to go. Peter, do we have any chances the World Cup qualifiers coming through? The same Nigeria. Yes, Nigeria beat America before the Olympics. They come down to Rwanda and we beat them. We celebrate highly. But I highly suspect that one of the reasons we lost this game against Cape Verde is we over-celebrated the Nigeria victory. If you saw the guys dancing in the dressing room after the Nigeria game, you expected them to slow down. I think complacency came into play. Yes, they had Walter Tavares, that 7-foot man. But I think after beating up on Nigeria has all the hype in basketball. Against Cape Verde, we thought it's going to be a roller coaster. Many Ugandans actually thought. Let me hope you weren't part of them.
Yeah, when you look at the game that we won up against Nigeria, it managed to give the boys a lot of motivation when they were heading into the quarterfinal up against Cape Verde, because winning up against one of the best countries in African basketball, because I'm sure Nigeria is part of the top 5 ranked African countries when it comes to the issue of basketball. Having won up against Nigeria, they thought they would have Cape Verde as a walkover, but it was a different story. Remember, Uganda had already won up against Cape Verde even during qualifiers. Uganda managed to put up stunning performances up against Cape Verde. So I just think this time around, when we head into the World Cup qualifiers, we need to introduce a couple of new lads so that we also work out on different tactics to make sure that we can make it to the World Cup. However, I don't think we shall have a great performance out there in Indonesia, Philippines and Japan. Reason being, they are great nations like America.
But I think we need
the Olympic champions. Yeah, so I just imagine my brother Jimmy Enabu and Okello are going down to face the likes of Kevin Durant. It won't be an easy battle there.
But we need to get there before we start thinking of anything like that. From the Africa basketball, I'll tell you that Uganda finished 7th or tie.
Good result.
From the two we had been to before. We had not been out of the group. I think we finished 13th and 15th at all others. Cameroon came in last, Mali 15th, Sierra 14th, DR Congo 13th, Kenya 12th, Egypt 11th. Egypt. If you're above Egypt, few things in the world we can't be above Egypt. We are above Egypt by loads of spaces. Because Egypt is 11th, we are 7th. The only teams above us are Angola, South Sudan, and the game. The semi-finals are on today. And Cape Verde is playing Tunisia, then Senegal will play Ivory Coast. That's going to be a hella cost of games. And okay, you see what, Peter?
You see, John Barnes, the Uganda finishing number 7 is a true reflection of what we have as now and what we would have been if we had. Those are two different things. You imagine we had the right infrastructure and the right technology in sport. I think we would be dominating Africa in sport, period. Because do you see the where these gentlemen are playing from? That world-class arena in Kigali.
In Kigali, Rwanda.
World class, with all the tactical ability in there, the technical and of course the electronic installations. The boys actually went and put up a good fight. If you come down to Uganda, the best arena we have right now, I think, is in Lugogo.
The MTN Arena.
Yeah. Which other one? Maybe the Kisu over there and the rest. But currently our Kisu can't accommodate fans.
Even
we are talking about
the University also has a very good
but
court.
If you're talking courts and you talk about Ndeje University, Ndeje and UCU, when we are looking at Kigali International Stadium.
so
the road is watching this. Say this case not.
But I think, guys,
I think to me-
looking at our own, looking at our own, we also have to give credit to the people that managed to put this in place. So, what has government done to make sure that we
get better?
Yes, we make it better, because all we're lacking is the best of courts and the stands. I think that is all we're lacking.
The Kigali Arena was actually built in a record, I think it was a year plus some months.
Yeah.
It didn't take 3 years or 4 years to build that beautiful iconic structure in Rwanda right now, because I can assure you that the Rwanda government and of course the Ministry of Sports and Culture in Rwanda are very much proud, and they're using this as an icon for their country. Beautiful, by the way, very beautiful arena. You imagine we actually have such an arena here in Kampala, the Kampala Arena. Something that comes closer to this arena that I saw in Kampala is actually a mall.
Okay.
Look at this. Look at
That
this.
is it. That is the Kigali Arena.
This was built in a record 1 year and some months with everything installed.
The ball you talk about is that one close to Zambia.
In
As
Zambia.
you go towards Zambia.
Yeah, have you been to Zambia?
Yeah, as you go towards Zambia.
It is called the Arena.
The Arena.
But it's a shopping mall.
It's very. You may think it's a stadium. But
Yes.
the first time I saw it,
It looks like a
to me it was
stadium.
a stadium. And by the way, the
Beautiful.
basketball, the semifinals at the Afro basketball is underway. It's Tunisia against Cape Verde. It's 14-all in the first quarter.
Yeah.
On
But look
Rwanda
at this.
Broadcasting Corporation, by the way.
Look at that.
You
Look
can
at
as well
that.
watch.
Just look at this. Now
That
this
is
is in Rwanda, not in America, but this is our.
is
This is
Rwanda,
Rwanda. Look at this.
And Peter, as you talk about that in Rwanda, they also have another facility. They're hosting the African Volleyball Championship, I think late next, maybe
Yes,
next week.
yeah.
Then they have a mega cricket oval. Let's leave Rwanda alone. Rwanda is miles apart in terms of infrastructure.
Yeah, so what
Now,
I was saying,
Okay.
we need, I think I say this almost in every show.
Every show.
Every show.
Okay.
We need to invest in sports infrastructure. If we invest in better infrastructure.
Look at ours. Look at ours.
Ah, dear me. Oh my God.
Let's
Oh my
go inside.
God.
Let's
Oh
go
my-
inside the producer.
Oh,
If the producer
take
can
us inside, please. Take us
then,
inside, Mr.
hopefully
Take us
guys-
inside.
hopefully
Now,
guys-
this is after renovation, by the way.
This is after renovation.
This is after
yeah.
renovation.
It looks nice. Eh?
Yeah, it looks nice.
Looks nice.
After
Yeah,
renovation.
it sits about less than 2,000. I counted those seats a couple of times in my life. I've been to the arena, but we are well behind our neighbors. Even South Sudan is building mega things that are going to leave us apart. That is inside. That is how that facility
That
looks
was
like
in one
inside.
of.
Yeah,
Okay.
the first quarter in the semifinals, the first semifinal Tunisia against
See
Cape
the
Verde is about to
comparison?
end.
See the
and,
comparison?
that is it. The first quarter in that Cape Verde against Tunisia game is about to end, and Tunisia is leading by a basket in that. But Peter, there's been a lot of hullabaloo surrounding the basketball team in about 3-4 minutes. You guys, is there any information you've got that differs from what I have? The team is finally bills cleared and are free to come back to Uganda on the 6th. And let me start by asking, can we welcome them at the airport as heroes?
Why not?
Yes, because in the first place, Uganda had never been at the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
That is a very big achievement. Then, secondly, having won up against nations like Nigeria,
Yeah.
it was worth
And
celebrating.
finishing above Egypt.
Yes,
You know, the small things, there are very little things, very few things in the world
Egypt are champs
in which
before,
we
yeah?
can be above Egypt.
Yeah.
But here we are in Afro basketball. So you think we can welcome them?
Yes,
Now,
we have to.
the good, the bad, and the ugly. There was some ugly bits about
The good.
it.
Let me begin with the good.
The good?
I have to admit that whoever designed the jersey of Uganda
Okay.
needs to go and get a token from the president.
Okay.
Whoever designed that jersey,
Okay.
if only the other sports federations could actually borrow a lift. Here we go. This is actually behind me. Mr. Producer, get me a shot of this, please.
Okay.
Here we go. Now this is the jersey
For the Uganda Cranes.
This is Uganda Cranes, original by the way. This is the original
Yeah.
jersey. Umbro. You see the colors over there? Okay. Let's go down and look at the jersey. Here we go. Let's go down and look at the jersey of the basketball team. This is my good. This is my good.
Okay, the good.
John Barnes, please
Okay.
help me.
Okay,
eh?
okay. Take
Hold
your
on,
time.
hold on.
Take
Let's
your
go, Mr. Producer. Let's go to the. That's my camera.
Okay.
Let's go to.
There it is.
Roll it.
There.
Pause it. Now, whoever designed that jersey,
That is James Okello.
what's Okello? Whoever designed that jersey
Deserves
needs
a kudos, eh?
deserves a token.
Oh, okay.
That's a pure reflection of the beauty of Uganda.
Okay. The bad?
Yes, the bad is that when you look at the way they finance some of these federations, you get worried, because if at all the Federation of Basketball was financed just like they do finance FUFA, I think we would have gotten one of the best performances from the AfroBasket. We would even have made it to the finals or semi-finals, because when you look at the boys, some of them were saying that allowances were not coming in as expected, though I won't be very sure about that, because
you can't trust.
Yes, it's simply a rumor. I remember even my friend Sechitole Ko said he didn't have any money, yet his account was already had already gotten deposits.
The ugly, Peter.
We have been getting the ugly part is one, the boys being locked and not allowed to leave the hotel because of bills. Now there are very many conflicting messages coming up. Now here, Nasser Serunjoji, I think, is in basketball, right?
Yeah, the federation president.
He's the president who actually tweeted this, that national men's basketball team would like to thank General Kainerugaba Rugaba for coming to the rescue of the national basketball team in Kigali. Now, General Kainerugaba Rugaba, my pronunciation, I'm sorry, has actually paid all our hotel bills and personally ensured we leave Kigali with no credit.
Great.
Now, it's the second time he actually came, if that is to go by. Though there was another message that actually came, I saw, from social media. Sometimes you don't need to believe social media thrive, because there was another message that came from social media that actually said that the basketball body of Rwanda was the one that cleared the bills. So I'm left in the middle to actually find out which is true. But if Serunjoji, who is actually the president of basketball, comes with that tweet, then I have to go with the federation president. So we have to thank the general for the intervention. For the intervention. But again, why should we wait really for an individual to come down and bail us out as a nation, really? And why should the national team be stuck in a hotel?
That is terrible. And I'm certain
it's very terrible. Very terrible.
I speak, and many of you will, and the guys watching out there will as well. If you've been a player before and you're stuck under those circumstances, yes, I'm told that the federation didn't tell the players down there. They didn't know anything happening. But did they get the phones off them? I'm not certain. These lads must have been following whatever is happening around them. Yes, inside that Park Radisson must be the name of the hotel. They must have got everything they wanted. But I know they got a glimpse or a room of something that these guys are not settled, our officials, and that may have affected their play against Cape Verde. Do you think it does? It does. It has affected me in the past.
You see the issue of hotels and payments, like what my brother Senfuma was saying, that maybe allowances were not coming on time, or maybe they were coming. This actually affects play a lot. These sportsmen are like babies. Sportsmen are like machines. You need to oil the machine if you want the machine to perform well. If you do not oil your car, or if you do not service your car and you're having a long journey, you're bound to actually have an engine knock. So sportsmen are like babies, sportsmen are like machines. You need to oil the machine.
The babies you're talking about can be lied to at times, and sportsmen
with a switch. So give them something kidogo. Give them
we all agree that we lost to Cape Verde because they were the better team. We wait for qualifiers in the World Cup. We've got that bloody group. We've got Nigeria, we've got Cape Verde again, and we've got Mali in there. I'm certain it's Mali. It's Mali that is in that group, and qualifiers start in November. They're going to be phased out, but at the end of it all in 2023, it will be 5 teams that will go down to 3 countries: Philippines, Indonesia, and Japan. Now, my final question to you guys: basketball has been to great things before, but does it reflect when the league comes around? Forget the COVID situation, Peter. We've been there 2015, and basketball has been through a lot. The Zone 5s by City Oilers and the girls, the JKLs of this world. Does it reflect? Do we get a trickle-down effect of our lads representing at high level when they go down to watch basketball, in terms of maybe the numbers coming through to watch? Because we need numbers. If the numbers can come down to watch the games, they'll get the fans and our league will improve.
Yes, in the first place, I must say, when you look at the scoring rate in our league, it is very different from the scoring rate in different leagues, because you find a UCU side winning with only 50 points out of 4 quarters, but you go watch a game of Golden State Warriors or a game of Toronto Raptors, and you take a look at about 117 points in a single game. So I think even our scoring rate downs the numbers of fans that come down to the stands to watch the games. Even the facilities, just like Peter said, you cannot go down to an arena whereby when the rain comes through,
The game ends.
The game ends and the fans have to run away after having paid their money.
Power outage. Yes, power. You are enjoying a game and power goes off and you're like, okay.
Yes.
So that happens in Lugogo.
So you try to wait, and at the end of the day, the game is called off.
Now, before we go for this break, let me. I want you guys to pick out who to you was the star for us at the Afro Basketball and why.
Yes.
And I pray that it's not the same person. So Peter, if that lad, the youngest of lads starts, you've got to be very careful who to choose.
Let him begin.
I know he's going to pick Ishmael.
Nah, my best player was Adam Seiko, because when you have a point guard in Adam Seiko who comes out to scoop a couple of points for you getting game out, I think it's not very easy for different point guards to always score a couple of points. But however, even Robinson Opong was a great performer for me when it came to the issue of getting to the better stage of the Afrobasket, that is the quarterfinals.
Okay, Peter?
Well, I think I'll go with Wright. Since you've spoken about I'll go with Wright and Kaluma. Those two have been very outstanding. I think we needed the power of Wright and, of course, the magical movement of Kaluma in that game. For me, they were the two driving boys that actually made sure that we went to where we are right now. But we also can't forget the performance of Okello. I think the energy of Okello, he tried very much against Tavares. It wasn't enough for him. Tavares just number 22 over there. Look at the height of that guy. Oh my God.
The height, the weight.
Yes. It reminds me of, there used to be a very tall guy in Uganda basketball.
He's called Gombia.
Gombia. Yeah. You imagine if we had actually gotten
Gombia,
yes. If we had gotten Gombia, built him well, because Gombia was brought into basketball via Warriors.
By Mande Jeroni.
Yeah, by Mande. But it didn't work out for him well. I think had a problem with his legs or anything like that. But if we had a Gombia, trust me, he would just stand right there like that man there.
And pick the ball.
And his work is just... Yeah, that's what he was doing. So we lacked such a player. We lacked such a player to do that. Yeah.
Okay, let's go for this break, Peter. And by the time we get back, Ugandans, please, we shall talk about the Uganda Cranes. We talked about the basketball because for us, we think it was the bigger topic for us, especially what the lads went through and achieved vis-a-vis the nations they're playing against. Beating up on Nigeria is not an easy feat. It doesn't come every day. That break, when we get back, the Cranes, I know you're waiting a lot. Peter is going to tell you a lot about the Cranes and their chances against the Mali side that is beaming with confidence after beating up on Rwanda in their first game of Group E.
You know, you could just buy a new smartphone from anywhere in Uganda. Dial *175 *94 hash to activate their 100% double data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles for 3 months. Better yet, you automatically receive free 1 GB valid for 30 days. You are hooked already, aren't you? Enjoy 100% double data bonus from Airtel. Buy a smartphone from anywhere in Uganda and insert an Airtel SIM card. Dial *175 *94 hash to activate a 100% data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles, valid for 3 months. Dial *175 hash and select your preferred bundle to activate a 100% data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles, valid for 3 months. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Patriotism is a feeling of love, devotion, and the willingness to sacrifice for one's country.
I say no to corruption because I put my country first. I choose peace over violence because I put my country first.
I love Uganda. I serve Uganda. I sacrifice for Uganda. I'm loyal to Uganda. I love myself.
Be patriotic. Uganda first. This message is brought to you by the National Secretariat for Patriotism Co Uganda, Office of the President.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field could not be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite show.
My radio is my best friend. UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
Welcome back from the break. If you're just joining us for this, at this particular moment, you're watching the Score Extra. It's Uganda Broadcasting Corporation TV you're watching. My name is John Bansen. It's a sports show that comes to you every Saturday. It's our third edition. This and it's at 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. every Saturday from 3 weeks back till eternity. We shall be giving you a little further, deeper into the sport that we do analyze again on a Friday. We come through on Saturday. We are a little relaxed, and I'm joined on set by two men that enjoy their relaxation. During the break, they went for coffee, and I've just returned. I'm Michael Semfuma Luandaga and Peter Tai. Peter Tai is putting on yellow. I don't know why.
Yeah. This is, I'm from Soroti City.
But the yellow.
No, this is this is the color. It's just like asking why the Uganda Cranes is
red.
Yeah, this is the official color for Soroti
for
Thunder.
Yellow.
Yeah, the yellow and the black. Soroti Thunder.
Soroti Thunder is where Mukula comes from. Soroti is where Mukula comes from.
Yeah, Soroti is where Mukula.
Yellow is the color for Soroti Thunder. Anyways, that is just a bit of it, banter. We do that, I think, quite often. Anyway, we promised that we're going to talk about the Cranes that play Mali on a Monday in the Group E of the 2020-2022 World Cup qualifiers. Yeah. But let's first start in Kenya still, but not the Cranes. The women, Lady Doves, Michael Semfuma Luandaga, representing us in the CAF Champions League qualifier. They are at the semi-final stage. They go through that and the final, they'll make history. Talk Ugandans through, because you enjoy women's football, I'm certain.
Yeah, sure. And I have to
that's the reason of the smile. Eh?
That's the
reason for the smile.
I have to first of all thank FUFA for having brought Uganda women's football on TV.
Yeah, it's very important.
Yes, for the very first time, Ugandans managed to watch different
And
girls.
you can excuse them for denying you every other football?
No, I can't excuse them. However, I don't want to go into detail because I'm already sure the Uganda Cranes game will be somewhere else.
It's okay.
I don't know why, but it is already somewhere else. Anyway, coming back to the Lady Doves, in the very first place, the mere fact that they brought Mr. Ayubu Khalifan onto the technical bench to help them out on different issues has really helped them gear up when it comes to the issue of collecting points game in, game out. So in the semi-final, they will be taking on, that is CBE, Commercial Bank of Ethiopia. Yes, another great team on the African continent. I wonder why in Uganda, Vipers has no women's team.
No, it's going to be guaranteed, because they told us that with effect from next season's Champions League, every club that goes to the Champions League has got to have a women's team under the belt. I'm certain FIFA or CAF are going to fund, and FUFA even now is receiving big funds for women's football.
Yeah, there's one thing you need to know is that women football in Africa receives a lot of money.
Yeah, I think
a lot of money. That's the reason as why that these games going on in Kenya, Sekafa. If you look at the Sekafa for women, the organization of Sekafa for women is actually much better than the organization of Sekafa for the men. Okay. Now, Sekafa for men does not receive any good funding from CAF or FIFA, but the women's football actually receives more funding. That's why you can have very many teams. You have CBE from Ethiopia. In Kagame Cup of clubs, there was no team from Ethiopia. You have a team from Djibouti. The Kenyans did not turn up. But
even the Rwandese didn't turn up for the Kagame Cup.
Yeah, but I think even also they have not turned up. For them, it's general. The president said no, that's it. But if you look at the funding, there's a lot of money put into women football compared to men football, Sekafa-wise.
So I'm certain that by a CAF coming out and telling African teams that to play the Champions League next year, you've got to be able to have a women's team through your conveyor. I think it's good. It's good.
Yes,
for teams like Itende, it's very easy. By the way, it's going to be very, very easy for them because they know where to pick the players from and carry on if they win the championship. That is, our teams like KCCA is going to be a little of a struggle, and I think they will also partner with schools. This helps schools, by the way, because KCCA, I know, will go to Kiburi, and Kiburi, fine, they're good in men's football, boys football, but they have never been good at women's football, unless if I can be corrected. So teams will partner with the Kawempes of this world, make them stronger and better, and by the time these girls come through to play the CAF Champions League, or even if it's the groups like Lady Doves actually doing it, they'll be more competitive than they actually are now.
First of all, when you look at Lady Doves, someone out there might think Lady Doves is just coming out of the blue to be out there representing Uganda in the Sekafa Women's Championship that is taking place down there. But I must say that in 2018, I remember they managed to make it to the finals of the FUFA Women's Super League.
2019, and they lost to
2019 season.
And they lost to UCU Lady Cardinals.
Yes, it was a 1-0 loss. But they managed to...
They avenged it, 2-1, and they're the champions of Uganda.
Yes, in just 3 or 2.5 years, they managed to put themselves together, bring in different coaches, and sign a couple of good players. When you look at Fazila Ikwapot, she has really managed to put the name Lady Doves really high up above Kawempe Muslims, because of recent I used to listen to Kawempe Muslim ladies putting up stunning performances day in, day out for the under-17, for the under-20, and for the Crested Cranes. So I think even the Lady Doves are worth being there, and we shall see a couple of their players being summoned for the under-20 championship that is soon starting in the Crested Crane.
And of course, going to this stage, Lady Doves managed to beat a PVP yesterday 3-0. Fazila Ikwapot part of the scoring, Nora Alupo and a girl called Spencer Nakacho. Peter, women's football up and running. The president of the Federation, Magogo, gave them $100 each for qualifying. Does this motivate them any further?
Yes, it does.
And with further promises as well, by the way?
Yes, it does. If they can actually reach the final, that would be another $100 maybe for them.
500, I think.
Or 500.
No, 300.
If they reach the final.
Yeah, if they reach the final, it's 300. If they lift it, it's 500. 1,500.
Could be 1,000. They could be working with $1,000.
1,000 each.
Yeah, 1,000 each.
Yes, this is very good.
But this is what FUFA normally does. We have seen this from FUFA. Remember when they began it with KCC during Kagame, I think, if I remember very well. Then they went to the under-23s. Then they actually went also to Express. They were promised if they lifted Kagame, each player would walk away with $1,000. The entire team $1,000. Which is very good. So
each player?
Yeah, each player. But I think the motivation factor is very important for the ladies to go down and play, because club-wise, some of these players will not receive such monies from the club. You get it's very tricky. It's very expensive to run football in this country.
And as you talked, the facilities down in Rwanda being more elegant than the ones in Uganda, I'll tell you a thing that $1,000 in Kenya can go to a supermarket and shop big. By the time the girl comes back, either through Busia or Malaba, she has a big sack.
There is a lady. There is a lady
at $100.
The lady that represented Uganda in Tokyo Sprints. What's her name?
Roma.
The one from West Nile.
Shida Lenny Shida.
Lenny actually, I managed to, I follow her on Facebook, and I saw her advertise a sports shop that's around Nsambia, around Lactic. Is that hers?
Yeah, no, it's part of the team.
It's part of the team. So you can imagine that, like you talked about, if she can go represent, get a few money, and bring some sportswear and put in the shop, it's good to balance the equation. The equation for the athlete. That's what we don't have really.
So like Sefmas told you, our own Lady Doves will play Commercial Bank of Ethiopia on Monday in the semi-finals, and the other semi-finals between Vihiga of Kenya and Simba Queens of Tanzania must be.
Yes.
Peter, are they related to Simba?
Yes, they are. That's why they're called the Simba Queens. They are the ladies' side. For me, that is one of the biggest challenges we have in Ugandan football, that the top teams in Ugandan football do not have female teams.
They're going to have them. They have no choice.
It's going to be a must.
They have no choice.
It's going to be trouble, because you realize that currently they're finding it hard to actually sponsor the men's team, some of these teams, but let's wait and see.
I'll tell you what, the monies that come through, because we all know you've broken it down for us. The monies that come through, to fund women's football, can even help the men. Because what the guys are going to do, I know KCCA is going to talk to Kibuli SS. Express FC will talk to some school. It's about the schools now that are going to benefit. Rubaga, Uganda Mothers High School, Rubaga
but the best way you can
be integrated into Express.
The best way you can introduce a couple of teenage girls into Ugandan football is by organizing a very good tournament, just like you have the Copa Coca-Cola for the boys.
Yeah.
You need to have another Copa Coca-Cola for the ladies,
Yep.
and even an East African championship for the ladies.
It happens.
Yes,
East
so
African happens under the secondary school block.
yes, but we need it from the grassroots. Like
Okay.
we have a primary
The Odilo.
section. Yes,
Odilo.
yeah, we have the Odilo under 15.
Okay.
We have the under 17
Under
until we
13,
make
under
it to the until we make it to the under 21 or even under 20. That is the best way we can introduce teenage girls into Ugandan football.
But I followed-
Otherwise, we have no success in that ladies football.
I followed
if we don't take that route.
the Women's Super League and the Elite League, and I'm certain Uganda is endowed with talent aplenty. If we only can go down there and tap it, like my colleagues have said, it needs government, it needs the federation, it needs every one of us involved, especially the schools.
Even
If the schools don't get involved,
the schools
we
have
are gone, we
the
are
schools
done and
have
dusted.
the schools have to be forced to do it through the Ministry of Education and Sports.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, we can't force Lady Doves to secure a victory for us, because if they do it on their own, they will be going to the final, and if they secure a victory in the final, they will be the first team in Uganda to play the CAF Champions League for
Yes,
women.
yes.
That is it.
To
So,
be
Lady
history.
Doves, we wish you all the best, but the work, you've got your work cut out. Please secure those two results, 180 minutes away from success, and you'll come back in Uganda. I'm certain I'll be at the airport if you go through to the Champions League group stages. Peter, Uganda is playing a World Cup qualifier
on Monday.
on Monday. We played the World Cup qualifier on Thursday. We play World Cup qualifier on Monday. Are Ugandans used to such kind of football?
Yeah, we got used of recent on seeing. I remember there's a time where we played, I think, on a Saturday or Saturday. Then we played on a Tuesday. You know, we actually now used to this. We are now used to this, and the boys are already in training. I actually did see them in their hotels.
They are training now at
conditioning.
Kitende. They are at Kitende now. They start training at 70 minutes.
Yeah, in the morning
from
they were
now.
doing conditional training at the hotel. Then
70 minutes from now they'll be at Kitende.
which is something very, very good. I have to admit, I was very pleased with, of course, the setup that Micho came up with. Yes, it was an all-attacking team. The only problem that we had was injuries. You know, injuries just defender gets Khalid picks up an injury. Then Emmanuel Okwi picks up an injury. Then you're like, okay, now this totally changes the situation for the coach. The game plan totally changes for the coach. So
unforced substitutions.
Yeah, exactly. So to me, I don't know what the conditional men, that gentleman over there, will be taking the boys through, because if you have two footballers picking up injuries on the same day, it's a little bit questionable.
The game proper, Michael Stenfuma Luwandaga.
Yeah.
Uganda going into this, we badly needed to get a result. We actually got a result. Are you pleased that we came away with 1 point?
Yes, the mere fact that we were into an East African derby, I remember Kenya disorganized our plans of qualification some years back during Mulindwa's reign as FUFA president. I remember still the same Kenya came here and disorganized everything. But having picked a point from Nairobi, I think it was a stepping stone for Uganda to start getting the motivation of picking up 3 points from Mali, because you need to win all the 3 games that you host at home, because you first of all have the advantage of hosting the games at your own stadium, and then secondly, you really need to have that top spot if you're to enlighten the chances of making it to Qatar 2022. So Coach Micho has to help me first of all. He has to deduct the number of left backs. I wonder why he went with 4 left backs into this fixture, having Muleme, Mustafa Kiza, Ochaya, and Enoch Walusimbi. However, at times we see Enoch Walusimbi being pushed to the right, but still, I wonder why we have all those left backs into the squad. Yet we have a couple of young lads that managed to put up a stunning performance in Mauritania. I wonder why Micho is not building, starting from the under-20 squad that played in Mauritania. We only have a few lads onto this squad. We have Bobosi, probably we have Enoch Walusimbi, but we need to see a couple of these young boys. The Basangwas weren't given a chance. However, if we give Basangwa a chance now, by the time we get to play AFCON qualifiers in probably 2-3 years, he will be another Geoffrey Massa for us.
Yeah, Ugandans watching out there, on the right of your screen are the results from other games that were played across Africa. Of course, Mozambique and Ivory Coast 0-0. That is a very, very big result for Mozambique, irrespective of whether they were playing at home or not. Against Ivory Coast, any day, anytime, you expect them to come, run over you, whichever country you are.
Africa no longer has strikers. I remember back in the day, we used to see a couple of great strikers, the likes of Freddie Kanute, Benny McCarthy. We used to see the Nomovetes. Even Ivory Coast had the Didier Drogbas. Cameroon had the Samuel Eto'os. Today, when you look out for the best strikers in Africa, I wonder, you can really hustle hard.
Peter, Coach Mitchell's selections, you've uploaded the way he set up the team. Were you surprised that Watenga was benched for Lukwago? Let's start.
Yeah, I was.
I'm not saying that I'm against Lukwago, no. But I think all of us, many of us in Uganda, really expected Watenga to come in ahead of
true. I actually expected Watenga to come in ahead of Lukwago. Why? Because if you look at the way Ismail Watenga has actually been performing for his side in South Africa, I think he has been performing relatively very well. Charles Lukwago had a little bit of issues at KCC Football Club. Remember, there was I think a Uganda Cup game against Express,
for which he wrote an apology to the fans for the mishap. That cost the team a place in the semi-finals.
Very true. But reflex-wise, I think if you've watched Charles Lukwago play, his reflexes have actually been relatively okay. Remember Chan, he was very outstanding in Chan. Even in the Sekafa Kagame, I watched a few games of his, commentated a few games of his. He was actually also very outstanding. Ishmael Watenga, maybe the technical team has not gotten enough, can we say, enough statistics on him. Maybe that's the reason as why they did not call him up to be the #1 goalkeeper. But I think I would go with Watenga at any time ahead of I don't know.
How about his choices in defense? Michael Senfuma Luanda, Uchaya, Murushid Juko, Halid Lualiwa, and Dennis Iguma. Is Dennis Iguma still very swift to maraud that right back? Yes, and help us get numbers up front.
In the first place, we cannot forget that Micho had already moved out of Uganda very many years ago, and we brought in the likes of Desabri and McKinstry to come help us out. So in the McKinstry setup, Iguma was nowhere to be seen. But in the Micho setup, Micho thinks he has to go for experience than the form, because a couple of great players are in the Uganda Premier League, and some of them were even called up during McKinstry's time. But here comes a Micho who wants experience more than the form. That is why we see Dennis Iguma into the squad. But the centre back is still worrying. If we go with that kind of centre back up against the likes of Jenipo, we're going to lose.
I think the partnership of Halid together with Murushi, those two are.
It is really lacking.
No, it's a good partnership. It's a good partnership.
We need a Bevis. We need a Bevis Mugabe.
Yeah, but he didn't turn up. He actually. So what do we do?
He wasn't called.
He
wasn't summoned.
But I think
if at all he was summoned, we would have added his experience and professionalism with Morshidi's man marking into the centre back, because they are the Malians we are going to face are too physical, and I think Micho has to have an eye for the physicality of them.
I would for me, I think on the back, I would actually have changed maybe Iguma and began with Wadada. I would actually have begun with Wadada on
but even Wadada wasn't summoned.
If he was summoned anyway. So basically that is the issue we can actually have.
So even the summoning is lacking in one way or the other.
Do you think the fact that Micho talked about it, by the way, that the game was about one team whose players have played football and another team whose players have not been playing football? Do you think the fact that our league is not on and many of our players, but most of the players before they summoned Moreme and Ochaya and
Mustafa
Kiza, all of them had been in Uganda and had not played football for quite a long time. Do you think it came into play as you watched that game in Kenya?
Yes, even not only them, even Emmanuel Okwi has no club currently.
He was in Uganda.
Yes, has no club currently. So if an opponent learns all those statistics about your club, about your squad, I think it gives him an upper hand to come and put up a standing performance up against you. But we need now to question Fufa. What do they base on when summoning some of these players? We need to see the statistics of these professional players. You might tell me Abdul Mala plays for Pyramids in Egypt, but how many times does he get onto the pitch? Yes, this is a very big question, because we had a young boy at Police FC, Derek Kakoza, coming into every game and trying to prove to the coaches that I'm the right man to come and be the next Geoffrey Massa or the next Eugene Sepuya. But here comes Mitchell in coach, and he says, no, I have no room for Derek Kakoza. However, he's one of those youngest lads that we should base on when we are building a new Uganda Cranes squad.
I think the young man has beaten us hands down, Peter.
Yes, Peter. I was thinking of a Uganda Cranes team where maybe Muleme would be out and Mustafa Chiza would be in. I was just thinking of that Uganda Cranes team. Because if you look at Mustafa Chiza, for me, he has been my best provider of that ball, from the free kicks, from the corners. You need that kind of set piece play from Mustafa Chiza. So I was thinking of a team which has maybe Ochaya, maybe Chiza, Ochaya forward, instead of using Muleme. I don't know. That was my thought.
Yes, because Ocha is very good when tracking back.
Yes.
Yes.
So maybe have Chiza slightly in front of Ochaya. That was my thinking.
We're back home. The central midfield partnership of Bobo C and Khalid Aucho. Do you think they stood out against the Kenyan might that we had to get men in front of our central defenders in order for the threat of Michael Olunga not to come through?
Yeah, one thing you should know is that Khalid Aucho has just gotten a club. That's Yanga of Tanzania. Yanga of Tanzania. If you remember very, very well, he's just gotten a Yanga of Tanzania. Yeah. He has not played a lot of games for Yanga. He has been out of action for a long time, ever since he actually left the Egyptian Premier League. So he had not yet settled very well. So, but since he has actually played here, I think he will be match fit. He wasn't match fit to me. He wasn't match fit for the Kenya game. He will be match fit for Monday game.
Okay, now Michael, we're coming to the end of this.
Yes.
We're playing at home on the turf, like we're standing on here. Do you have a chances? Because
Yes,
the last time we played there, we struggled against South Sudan, I'm certain, and against Burkina Faso.
Even against Burkina Faso, yeah.
shared points game. We come up against Mali. We must beat Mali because Mali beat up on Rwanda 1-0. They are top of the table. If we beat up on Mali, we go top of the table. Simple as that. Hopefully results. By the way, Rwanda is playing today against Kenya, isn't it? Must be today Sunday. No, tomorrow Sunday. Tomorrow Sunday. Tomorrow.
Yes, in the first place, playing at home, first of all, is a very big advantage for any nation.
Without fans at Kitende?
Yes, without fans.
Fisher Turf?
Yes, I think the boys are getting used to playing without fans because even during the league, there was a moment when the fans were brought back and a moment when the fans were told.
The moment they came back, no sooner had they come back than they were taken out.
But I think what the coach has to do to make sure that they collect maximum points out of this Mali-Uganda fixture, he has to go for physicality.
From where?
Yes,
from where?
Right from the back line, he has to go for physicality.
Who?
Coach Mitchell.
I mean, which players?
He has to introduce players that are physical. When you look at players like Emmanuel Okwi, I really doubt his physicality.
I don't think he will be fit even.
Will he be fit?
Yes.
Will he be fit even?
I think we could go with Derek Nsibambi.
Yes, Derek Nsibambi is also kind of
lanky like you.
Yes, he's kind of lanky. However, I'm not that lanky.
You're lanky like him.
But I think if at all the coach had introduced a couple of players like we have the Basangwas, he has to introduce Basangwa. Basangwa has a lot to prove, and Basangwa has been at this staff at Chitende, playing there for about 2-3 seasons. Okay. So I think he has something to do for us up front.
Peter, we're coming to the end of this. Which tactics do you employ? Which result do you expect in 45 seconds, Peter?
Well, I expect maybe a small win for Uganda, possibly a 1-0. Will be a lucky goal for Uganda. Mali are very good, I have to admit, they're very good. They play quick football. I watched them against Rwanda, but they struggled. I think the only way we can kill Mali is put the pressure on them.
Yeah.
Totally put the pressure on them. That's when we can actually get the result. The question remains is, which kind of players will Mitchell put on the ground? That's the question. But we need to put them on pressure. And don't forget to defend.
Absolutely, because the Malians, like Michael Sefumas talked about, are very, very good and agile. They've got Genepos of this world.
However, we have a chance that we shall survive the presence of Bissouma. Yeah, we
He's
shall,
not there.
yeah,
He's
we
not
shall
there.
survive his
But there is
presence.
a corner on there.
However,
Yeah.
if at all we had Bisuma and Jenipo on the same pitch, it wouldn't be a different.
That is it. That is it. Thanks, Ugandans, for watching us. It's been the Score Extra. Thanks, our producer, Mr. Eddie Mwesa, and of course the man himself on camera to make us look this nice. We don't look this nice on the streets of Kampala, but because of a man who works on Magic 100 FM and brings you Saturday. What is it called?
Funtula Extra.
Funtula Extra on Saturday on Magic 100 FM. It's going to be the music. He will mix in a little sport, and be sure it will be a lovely outing for you all. Monday, Uganda against Mali down at the Semeru Stadium Jitende. From us here at UBC, it's bye-bye. Nice weekend. Please take care of yourselves. COVID is still amongst us.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field could not be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite